Okay, so good day everyone. Welcome back to today's YouTube live session. My name is Eazel. You can call me Teacher Eazel. And for today's YouTube live session, we are going to talk about how to express needs, wants, and to give reasons how to express them. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. Give me a moment. Okay. Hmm. Okay, there we go. Can you see my screen? Okay. Oh, so there we go. Now, to start, in yesterday's lesson, I introduced myself. I gave you some information on how to introduce yourself. And do you remember what languages can I speak? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's right. I know how to speak English, of course. And the other one is more of a like a native language where I came from, and it's called Filipino, but in my country it's Tagalog specifically. But anyway, um, and what languages do you think I want to learn? What do you remember? That's right. I wanted to learn Spanish because, well, I'm here in Spain, and French because why not? And what about you? What languages can you speak? And what languages do you want to learn? Okay, so I'd like you to leave your answers down the comments below. And I'm going to give you at least a minute to think about this. Mhm. Okay, so as we have discussed yesterday, um, I've given you some languages. So we have here in the picture, we have German, also known as Dutch, we have Italian, in French, this is Mandarin, I suppose. This is Japanese, Spanish, Hindi, and then Arabic, and of course, English. I suppose that all of you are watching this live stream because you want to learn English. So, yeah, you want or you need to learn English. And so now we're going to look at some statements of people who want or need to learn English. And I'd like you to read them and tell me what do they all have in common. I'm going to say each sentence for you to be able to hear it, but this is mostly a reading assignment. Okay, so I need English for my work. I sometimes need English for my studies. I don't need English for travel. I need to practice my writing. One day, I want to watch British films. I really want to talk with my husband's family. I'd like to have a real conversation with them. I really like to go to the United Kingdom. Okay? Going to give you 1 minute to tell me what do all of these statements have in common. Mm, Okay, so let's take a look at these sentences. So aside from the fact that they all of these statements want or need to learn English, they all have, I'd like you to look at the first like cluster of words in these sentences. So we have I need English, I sometimes need English, I don't need English, I need to practice, I want to watch, I really want to talk, I'd like to have a real conversation, I'd like to go to the United Kingdom. So all of them, that's right. That's right. Need, want, and like. So all of them have needs, have the verbs need and want in the sentences, and like as well. So, how to express needs and wants. So, these are some ways for you to express them. So, we have I need, the basic one, I need English, and we have here I need to practice. Why is it different? I wonder. What do you think? That's right. It's because English is a noun and practice is a verb. So if it's a verb, you need to add to. But if it's just a noun, you don't need to add anything. Okay? And we have here, it's the same for need. So need, if it's followed by a noun, I need English, and then practice followed by a verb, need to. If it's a negative, as we have learned in yesterday's lesson on the present simple, we we add don't if it's a negative. Don't before the verb if it's negative. Don't is a contraction of what do and not. Okay, that's right. Okay, so what else? Oh, we have here I'd. So I'd is a contraction of what words? I and would. Yes, it's would. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, so what about, let's look at this word. Really. What's the difference with if I just put I'd like to versus I'd really like to? So what's the difference in that? There's a there's something in there. I want to express how much I really like it. So, you know, it's for emphasis. Okay, that's right. You're all very smart. Okay, so let's first look at the difference between need and want. Okay, so I need English for my work, and I want to watch British films. So let's look at these two examples. What's the difference? Do you need work? Yes. Yes, you need work. It's a necessity. It's essential to you? Yes. And what about films? Do you need to watch films? No. Is it just for leisure? Something you do when you have free time? Yes. Okay. So the difference between need and want is need is a necessity. So it refers to things, you use the verb need for things that you really need, as we have discussed earlier. And then want is for desires, the things that you don't really need them, but when you have free time, it's something that you would like to do. Yeah. And then, as we have discussed earlier, the form, this is the basic structure of it. And I've mentioned earlier that to emphasize the verb, we use really before the verb. So it's the subject, really, and then the verb. Mhm. Okay. All right. You're all very good today. Okay. So now, with the things that we have learned in the previous slides, I'd like you to tell me, why are you learning English? Think about why you need it and what you'd like to do with it. Okay, so I'd like you to try to use the ones we've learned earlier. So, I need, I sometimes need, I don't need, I need to, I want to, I really want to, I'd like to, I'd really like to. So just look at, just go back in the recording later to check the structure of it so you don't make any mistakes. And I'm just going to give you a minute to think about it, then we'll move on to the next slide. Mm. So I'm sure that you all have different reasons on why you want to learn English. And of course, you want to sound intelligible when you say why you want or need to do it. So we could try to use more word, like a specific, two specific grammar structures in order to make your sentences better in expressing needs and wants. So I'd like you to look at these sentences below and try to complete them with because or so. Okay? So these two words that will improve your speaking in English. Okay? Okay. Going to give you a minute to fill in the blanks, then we'll check the answers. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to try to say it this time. I'm learning English. Blank. I want to talk with my husband's family. What do you think is the answer for this? I'm seeing answers like, okay, because. Why not so? Why do we use because in this one? Why because? Is it because, oops. Why do we use because? That's right. It's to, it's a reason. I want to talk with my husband's family. It's a reason. Okay? And then this one. I didn't want to stop studying. Do I use so or because? You say so. Why so? Mm-hmm. That's right. It's because it's an effect. It's an effect, okay? Very nice. And then I'm learning English. Do we use because or so? Because? It's a reason, just like in the first one. Okay, and then the last one? That's right. We use so because it's an effect. Okay, so here are the answers for that. Mm-hmm. And I'd like you to look at the structure. As we have discussed earlier, basically the difference between because and so is we use because to express cause or reason. So obviously it's in this word because. And so we use so to express the effect or the result. So that's how you use the because or so. And what kind of what are they called? What do you think are they? They're called? So in using conjunctions, we technically use them to connect two different things. So it's either two clauses. So what is a clause? First and foremost, a clause is something of a part of the sentence that has that could be that could stand on its own, which we call the independent clause, or that couldn't stand on its own, which is the dependent clause. In this case, we're just going to talk about the independent clauses. So, in this specific kind of sentence, we call them the compound sentences. Why are they called the compound sentences? Mhm. That's right, because they combine two independent clauses using the conjunction so or because. In this case, so or because. That's right. Okay, it makes your sentence better. Rather than saying earlier, we could just say, I want English for my work. But here you could say it in a better way. You could say, I'm learning English because I need it for my work. It's more of a way to express yourself and in a more intelligible way. And so, yeah, that's how you use the compound sentences. And independent clauses are basically a subject and a predicate. So, what's a subject? The subject here, for example, in this one is I'm, and then the predicate is learning English. Okay, all right. So, now I'd like you to tell me, and we could practice how to use so or because. Do you know someone who wants to move to another city or town? Do you know someone who would like to change jobs? Do you always do you know someone who always needs coffee first thing in the morning? And do you know someone who likes modern art? Do you know someone who wants to run a marathon? And do you know someone who would like to have more free time? Do you know someone who is interested in motorbikes? And do you know someone who goes to night school? Okay. So, well, if you ask me, I'm the person who needs coffee first thing in the morning. Like, if I don't have coffee, I cannot function. Okay. I need it in my life. It's not a want, it's a need. And what else would you? I would like to have more free time. Yeah, I'm so busy with my life. I want more free time. I mean, it's supposed to be the summer, but anyway. And now I'd like you to also think about if they like to do these things and you give me reasons why or why not. Use so or because to give reasons. So I'd like to leave this to you. Take a screenshot, and this can be your homework whenever you have free time. Uh-huh. And just to wrap up the session, I'd like you to think of these three prompts, and I'd like you to think of five things that you need in your life, five things that you want to have someday, and five reasons why you need or want something. Okay? So, with that being said, um, thank you all for listening, tuning in to today's YouTube live session. Um, if you want to do more exercises related to expressing needs, wants, and giving reasons, you can take a look at the English Unlimited B1 Pre Intermediate Coursebook published by Cambridge University Press, and they have more exercises there. So, YouTube live session. Thank you very much for listening and hope to see you someday. Okay, bye bye.